Hello! Oh, were you expecting someone else? Well, he's dead now, and what you've got is me, Harmony. It's actually World Whirlpool Appreciation Day on this particular date of uploading, which you shouldn't bother checking on a calendar because it's irrelevant. But it means it's time to crack a cold drink for His Majesty and crown him as King of the Sea Wings. Just a picture of total splendor. Whirlpool the magnanimous and beautiful. He needs a royal beverage carrier, though, and I can think of no other dragon which would be easier to make as a servant than another giant Darkstalker. That was super quick last time we made that. Frankly, I wasn't even challenged at all. In fact, this time I think I shall make him even bigger. A 6-foot wingspan wasn't enough. Our other Darkstalker is practically tiny, and I want a new one. I'm done playing with this one. So let's get crafting. Spoiler warning for the 10th book of Wings of Fire, the end of the second arc. I will spoil the whole climax and ending with this discussion, you have been warned. This particular Darkstalker is spelt funny. Peacemaker. Whatever. We can say that starts with a G. We're starting off with some black, because this Peace Stalker, Darkmaker, this particular gargantuan specimen will need a lot of it. If you don't remember Peacemaker, were you lying about not needing the spoiler warning? Go on, you can tell me if you haven't read the 10th book, don't be shy. Well, Peacemaker is an enormous black dragon with rainbow scales spread like stars across the undersides of his wings and down his flanks. He's a being of immense strength and power, as shown here in the official Wings of Fire colouring book, looking intimidating. The rainwing frills I'm about to add to this beast aren't canonical and I don't care. Also, he doesn't have a canonically described eye colour, but I made them grey to stand out from the rainbows on the rest of his body. Peacemaker is an artificially made dragon, invented in whole cloth by Kinkajou and Hope, aka Foe Slayer, Darkstalker's mother. He was made from the process of kind of tricking Darkstalker into eating an enchanted berry, which would turn him into a 1-year-old dragonet with an intense love of strawberries. But also he just did that to himself. And just as a reminder, he doesn't actually eat it of his own free will, or at least it's not informed consent. Moonwatcher thinks he will eat it of his own free will because she can see the future where he is a dragonet, but he actually insults her, smugly claims he will become king of the whole continent, and declares that he's no longer stupid and is unable to be enchanted by any dragon's magic. He eats the strawberry to, prove that it's harmless, I guess? Honestly doesn't make a huge amount of sense why he eats it at all, since the other characters in the conversation aren't really leading him down that path verbally, but whatever. He isn't immune to his own magic, meaning this transformation happens whilst he clutches at his mother's talons, begging to keep some of his powers. Any of them, and hoping and asking for someone to agree with him that he brought happiness to others or helped the world in some way, and says, as his final words, "I'm not evil. I'm not," before the transformation is complete. To which Kinkajou replies, "Not anymore." Which remains to be seen, I guess. This transformation into Peacemaker is designed to reverse the clock on Darkstalker's life, taking him back to being a baby, except making him nice and friendly. So, not quite Darkstalker. Probably not Darkstalker at all. Peacemaker is an entirely different entity from Darkstalker, stripped of his animus powers, his mind reading, his foresight, his memories, his very agency in his own life, whilst being forced to technically be the same dragon. If you can consider Darkstalker to be alive anymore, that is, which I frankly can't begin to see, since memories are what define a person, not just the physical matter of their bodies. Although in this case, both were changed irreparably, wiping Darkstalker's mind completely blank and turning his body into that of a hatchling of a different tribe combination even, causing him to be half Rainwing, half Nightwing. The first Rain-Night hybrid in 1,000 years, perhaps. Unless Darkstalker's mind survives this disturbing process, in which case he is something of an incorporeal ghost possessing the darkest thoughts of this otherwise unrelated dragon. What I'm saying is, Darkstalker is essentially killed in everything but name and sensations of guilt for surviving characters, namely Kinkajou, who pulled this metaphorical trigger, and Peacemaker is functionally the empty shell of a complete stranger to Darkstalker, which his body, mind, and soul are magically forced into with animus magic, destroying him in a way that feels even more horrifying and disrespectful than death. I will leave the pontification about the exact moral quandaries of that particular magical shenaniganery to my evil clone, I think, because I'm just here for National Whirlpool Appreciation Day and felt like having a butler. The rest of the magical creation spell is too complicated ethically if you start thinking super deeply about it. So we're not going to think super deeply about it. Peacemaker is awesome, and also, as you can see here, a sizable beast. Practically a weapon of mass destruction. Although he will not actually use his crushing strength and size for evil. And we know this because just before this transformation happened, Peacemaker's entire life was seen in a vision by Moon, which, as a side note, seems a little overconvenient that the Dragonettes of the second arc know precisely how his life will go, and therefore that they didn't make a mistake and Darkstalker will definitely not return. Because I really do mean his entire life. Moonwatcher sees from the moment of his creation until his eventual death during his sleep, however many years from now, determining that he lives a quiet, peaceful, and unassuming existence, marrying a blacksmith, having 2 children, and flying to the mountains to forage for wild strawberries. Because he loves strawberries in this version of himself. Now, at the time of writing, the 4th arc of Wings of Fire has been confirmed but not released. If you are a viewer from the future, this may be different. Because Peacemaker has been promised by the author to hold some kind of place as a character in the 4th arc. And although we don't yet know what that will entail, the author has repeatedly said in Q&A sessions she will not have Darkstalker return, making Moonwatcher's vision the best approximation of the actual canonical course of Peacemaker's life, as it hasn't been shown to us otherwise, and therefore Moon's vision is what I'm working off. Even though it may or may not have been a total cop-out for ending Darkstalker's plotline in 50 pages or less, as this is the last book he appears in. Anyways, so with this life plan in mind, Peacemaker's evil score is... out of 10, which seems fair. And that means he's done. This was made with some additions to the thinner baby dragon body, the same one used for the Skywing baby, except utilising the straight horns of the Seawing, because the curves are imperceptible at this scale, so why bother, and adding on some frills, as I mentioned. I couldn't live without them. This will be uploaded and free to download alongside all of the other patterns on Patreon when it's ready. I would love to hear it if you made your own Peacemaker, and I would love to hear it especially if you made your own 6-foot-long Darkstalker. How cute and harmless and tranquil and not at all a threat. There is absolutely no great outstretched shadow over this dragonette's soul which grows darker and more corporeal by the day. Nope, he's totally normal. Although hopefully not to crush his predecessor. This might not have been alphabetical. Here's an update to the Wild Round characters, which Heavy kind of did last episode, but there's another Wild Round approaching somewhat imminently. I mean, kind of imminently. The plushies take a long time, honestly. Ooh, who's this handsome devil? Anyways, that's totally the end of the video. Enjoy this day of veneration for your favourite character, Whirlpool, and have fun! Whirlpool will never be free of torture, twin brother. He both deserves it and the Whirlpool Hate Club commands it. No, you can't take him from me. Green is my favourite colour. Give him up, brother. You are defeated. I have thwarted your trap of putting corn on a plate under a box in the woods. No! How did you ever escape? Give it! Come on! No, I don't wanna. It is time for his punishment. He shall be submitted to the 1,000 tortures of Poseidon. Yep, that's what the tortures of Poseidon are. Thank you to my patrons, the Dark Gods of Whirlpool's Torment, the Wait Zaranek Fluffle, Ninja Kitty Awakens, Phoenix Fire, Danielle Oliver, and Birdie Yeggling. That's fresh squeezed right there. Thank you for watching, precious viewer. The speed paint for the background will begin shortly, so here's your warning for that. I'm glad you've joined me again for another pleasant April 1st video, and know with joy in your heart that on this date, Whirlpool has now suffered 1 year of torture at our hands. and he shall continue to do so long into the next. And probably the next. I have no idea how long this challenge will take me, but it's what I feel like doing right now, so prepare for many videos on it whilst I ignore my assessment task list as best that I can. Shout out to my Patreon members! Kimber, ADH Dream 1409, Kit, Samuel Sanchez, Mono Deer, Aninka Lamasson, Grey, Phoenix Fire, I like the dumb bunny shrimp, Fennec is here, Poppy Willow, Indigo, Woilies, Fantasy, Ninja Kitty Awakens, Caroline T, I love my fuzzy kitten, Vanessa Andanara Burrows, Verla, Rhythm the Raptor, Aliana, Miffy, Victoria Toucan, Racing Wolf, Grey Malkin, Gatto Catamoose, The Wade Zeranek Fluffle, Anonymous Running Dragon, Danger Noodles Are Cool, Erin Donahue, Carol, Silly Rabbit 87, The Fairest Rubber Duck, Celeste Tazza, Gordon Young, Stuffed Tails Fursuits, Connie, Nix, Hazel Williams, Keegan Evans, B, Crafty 6809, Alex Allen, The Christmas Lady, Akariel, Bird Yeggling, The Creatures Burrow, Danielle Oliver, Kayla Hedrick, Audrina Bailey, Meshtail, Salami, Moth, Squirrelox, Danny, Echo Gaming, Cat Brain, Lots of Pizza, Elena Spivey, Totally Not Tired, Sandra, Tea Party, Aspen, Cozy Wozy, Nika Fidowsi, Shadow, Harley, What's My Name, Mihir, Tommy and Copa. Whoopsie daisies, I left that out all night in the rain.